Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sours, and we are jumping into a traditional best of three Strixhaven Draft on MTG Arena. If you'd like to watch the drafting live with all of the cool kids, you can do so at twitch.tv/Semulin. We're doing a bit of a subscriber drive and hit one of our goals, which was giving away 2 coaching sessions. Well, it's giving away 5. We've done 2 of them, and they've been pretty dang good so far. I think this is pretty obviously Shaylee, as it's incredibly open. We can play it in white-black, we can play it in white-red, we can play it in black-green. You can play it everywhere, and it's great. So we're going to gobble that up. Obviously more flexible in Silver Quill, so we'll keep that in mind as we're drafting. But we need to make sure as we're going forward that we're picking the best card out of every pack. This pack is a little bit more challenging because I'm not entirely convinced it has a best card. It has some synergy pieces. If you're in a spell-heavy deck, you could go for Serpentine Curve. If you're definitely in a Silver Quill deck, Tenured Inkcaster would be quite nice. I'm kind of torn between Inkcaster to see if this is open and we can do the thing, Hunt for Specimens because it's a nice safe pick, and Expanded Anatomy because it's a nice safe pick. But I feel like this is probably a good spot to take the Inkcaster. If this works out, we've got an engine built. If it doesn't, we can just get into something else. Yeah, but I like to see curves later after I've gotten the spell decks going, because it's one of a few ways you can win, right? Like that deck we built earlier with Vexed would have been fine without a curve. It happened to get one late, which was swell, but it didn't need it. All right, now we're starting to see some different pieces, which makes me think maybe black-green is of interest to me, which, interestingly, these would both work just fine in, wouldn't they? I'm trying to decide if I like Mage Duel better than Devouring Tendrils, and I see the sciences, but I'm kind of off of the pick sciences early plan. I would like to have access to one, but I don't feel that I've drafted terribly poorly if I don't have one. I think I like Tendrils a little bit better. If the life gain is relevant, and in some decks it is, you're pretty happy with that. And consistently being 2, I think, is better than being sometimes 1, sometimes 3. This is a bit of a weird pack. Because I think the best card is probably Academic Dispute. But I don't know if the table knows that. Because we could take a Necrotic Fumes and just be like, yo, we're probably playing black-green. But I'm still not opposed to doing Lorehold stuff. We could also take the Mythic, like it's a weird, expensive negate, essentially. Sort of. Like it's a counterspell for a removal spell. So like we could play black-white, but I don't even know that I'd want that. I think I'm going to go with the Fumes. I've seen this table before, and if Lorehold is open, this probably isn't the signal I'm looking for. But if we got into Silver Quill or into Witherbloom, I think we'd be happy having a Necrotic Fumes in the board. Man, this is tough, yo. I like it better when the drafts are easy. But I think this is a close but clear Umbral Juke. Most decks are happy with Boots. I have seen those wheel some, but I'm interested in them. And I do like Shock. However, there's a Shock at common in black. So I think we can probably say we're probably playing black at this point. Because we've got Imbros and the Inkcaster at the very least. And we're still not quite sure what the other color is. This is better than that. Minor decision time. Imbros and Pilgrim of the Ages is a weird build-your-own card draw engine. I think I'm going to rule out Plumb the Forbidden. I'm still also confused about that Teachings being here. It's really good. First Year is a solid Silver Quill 2-drop, but I can find plenty of 2-drops for this deck. I think this is the right call. I need to be open to what's open here. But turns out it was Silverquill all along, which is neat. I'm still going to take the black card. But I think we're moving into Silverquill territory pretty quickly here. Yeah, there's a solid Silverquill 2-drop, but also this. See you later, Tendrils. We can find poets and enforcers. Let's make sure we get the power stuff. Study Break will go just fine in an aggressive Silverquill deck, and I think we can move this towards an aggressive version. Pledge Mage, sold. I've been terrified of this thing when I see it. I don't think we're likely to play any of this, and I'd rather send this along since we're not in it. Yeah, we've got 1 Necrotic Fumes for our lesson, as well as a Teaching of the Ancients, which is super unlikely to fit in here. But this is shaping up to what I want to do with a Silverquill deck. And we even get a campus. Nice. Yeah, Shalai works great both ways. I think if you can cast her on turn 2, you do. And if you top deck her later, you're probably happier with Imbros. The first year Wield, this is just too open for us not to play it, which is great. Let's play it. We have some sadness because this card is real good, but we can't play it. So the question becomes, do we want another Umbral Juke? Do we want a Spirit Summonings? Or do we want a Promising Dusk Mage? I think if we end up with a Promising Dusk Mage in the deck, I won't be disappointed about it, but I'm not going to pick it here. I'll just put the board wipe in Silverquill. Most of them fit in. I think we go for the uncommon. We can get some work done with this. I do like Dueling Coach. I also like the first introduction to Annihilation. I also really like Lash of Malice. But I think this is giving us a legitimate plan. And I might get another Lash. Because, like, this is a plan. There's the board wipe that everybody thinks I'm going to want, right? But I don't think I want it here. I think I could see Show of Confidence making it in this deck as well. This is like a +1/+1 counter theme deck. The fact that this one is a combat trick, I like. And it gives you something to do if you can... It, like, rewards you heavily for double spelling. The last Poet Wield, so I have a somewhat firm belief that I can wield this one. But let's go for this Arrogant Poet. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, Panda. General thoughts on Inkcaster? It's a pretty good finisher for Silverquill decks if you've got enough counter shenanigans, and we certainly do. I would like a Guiding Voice or 2 and maybe a few more lessons to get, and I think I would be pretty happy with this. But I'm certainly not unhappy with where we've finished up so far. Tentative Pando won the Chaos Draft we did off stream. I was close, but he got me. But I beat Dave. That was the really important part. iTwitch, I think I'm pretty interested in. It's a learn card, which we want. It's one of a few 1-drops that I get excited to play. We've also got shenanigans with, like, put counters on it. It dies, puts a counter on Laureate. Wasn't that you, Panda? The Chaos Draft? I was like 99% sure that was you. There was a Panda in our Chaos Draft, and I thought it was you. Was that not you? We could play a Shield Mage at the top end. I think I'd put a Crushing Disappointment in this deck, too. That was not you. Okay, it was a apparently my Panda was in a different castle. My apologies. This is giving us more of a semblance of a curve, which I can dig. Do I want 2 study breaks? It may have been an actual panda. It was somebody whose screen name was something panda. I don't remember who it was, though. I thought it was tentative panda. I think I do want 2 study breaks. I really need to get a few lessons. And, like, as late as it is, we're incredibly unlikely to see a good lesson, right? Like, Inkling Summonings would not be here pack 8, for example. And there's no way we would wheel the Spirit Summonings out of the first pack. Holy carp, this is just too open. I'm in trouble. It was sexual panda. Okay, you're right. That's a very different type of panda. Too many playables incoming? Could be. Yeah, that panda is not tentative. Although tentative panda makes me wonder is like, are you a panda for now, but you might be something else later? Is that what we're communicating? So I should be able to wheel a Divine Gambit because of the way draft works here, but I'm not going to risk it. It's the best card for us, and I'm very happy to open it. Yeah, I think I need like a combat professor, and this deck's basically done. Yeah, that's the problem. Wheel it for what? There's a surprising amount of value for a one-of Pillar Drop Rescuer. There's also a lot of value for a one-of Introduction to Annihilation. Because the Rescuer could get back Shaylai and allow us to cast Imbros, which is pretty freaking cool. But I might be able to find one of these later, and I definitely want one intro. Oh man, why did these have to be in the same pack? We got Rise and an Orator. I think I need the Orator more. By a lot. Because it should have flying. APM trick, pick them both. I want both. We could play Vanishing Verse. How close are we to a deck? We're pretty close. Creature counts at like 13-ish. This doesn't kill everything, but it kills a lot of things. I'm still banking on getting a Rescuer. Rise number 1 or Lash number 2? I think I like Rise number 1. I don't really need Rise number 2. There's 1, 2, 3 learn cards. I don't really need this either, though. Yeah, I guess I'll still take it. We may have a too many playables deck. That leads me to want better mana. I don't know if I want my mana to be that good, but sure. We could probably play the Pledge Mage. I also kind of like Defend the Campus in the sideboard, and it's also interesting flexibility. But there's some possibility we main this. And we spun the Rescuer, which I wanted. So we're good to go. I don't think there's much possibility we need this, but I suppose we could. I don't think I want this when I already have Show of Confidence. I don't think this deck wants Cram Session. I also don't think it wants 2 Rescuers, but we could side into them if we change our mind. Biblioplex Assistant isn't crazy either. There's a lot of good stuff to get back, but I don't think I have room for it. That worked out rather nicely. Let's get all our lessons out of here. That was not a lesson. I guess I need to do that before we do the thing. This looks like probably a 17 lander to me. Because we've got some stuff to do with mana. Like we could loot it away. Maybe I do want... We've got a mana sink. I could sort of see 16 too, because like we are stopping at 5 and are like, we're not going to have a problem with colors. I feel like if I cut a land in the Biblioplex Assistant, we've got something going on. I don't think I'd do that if I didn't have the 3 campuses. But I could also just cut the Assistant and the Lorehold Pledge Mage and be pretty freaking happy with the deck. I'm kind of tempted to do something like this and try to find room for that other Pillar Drop Rescuer. Because this is quite relevant to my interests. Again, a big part of it is we could get back the Orator, which flies. We could get back the Poet, which flies. We could get back Shaylee and turn it into Embrose. We could get back the Laureate. We could get back the Pledge Mage. I feel like it's doing enough that it deserves a spot in this deck. I just don't know what the last one is. That's my question, is do we go 16 lands? I think I do want the Rises. We could play 1 copy of Study Break. What does our Lesson Learned makeup look like here? We've got 1, 2, 3 that I really want to get, and then Fumes that I can get. I don't think I need the Study Break. Well, I'd like one of them. I don't think I need to jam all of them in here. I think I can sort of dig the Spirit Bird as just something that could come down earlier. It's not really jumping anything amazing. You can, but I can't actually recognize the cards in this format very well. I guess this is helpful, though. But yeah, I don't have enough lessons that we really need to go crazy on that. But I think I'm happy playing 17 here. We've got a couple of mana sinks. And we've got some card draw here. And this would leave us room for 7 black. Looks like a deck to me. Let's do it. Thank you for pointing that out, though, Cyril. It did actually help. I think they're balanced, right? Unless I just clicked too many, which I might have. I think with those campuses, we don't have to stress about the mana too much. Perfect opener. Surprisingly, I think we're pretty happy to trade this off, if given the opportunity. just because the rescuer can get it back. So we'll try to accrue some value. I mean, do you want more butt than butt is a fair question. This is not ideal. Because there are no monocolored creatures for me to hit other than my own. Alright, that puts us on double block these two. Hope they don't have a trick, and that they cast something I can play Vanishing Verse on. This is risky and not very comfortable. Yep, it sucks. Could you play something that's not gold, please? This doesn't work on that guy, right? Yeah, this is green and black. It is not monocolored. We've got him down to 20, though. Which I dig. So I think it's time to look at doing some blocking. I think I gotta hold them all back in case they have a removal spell. Like, jamming everything in front of the Pledge Mage doesn't seem that bad to me. I've heard it's the best green common. I think if they didn't have an attack last turn, I can attack for 2 here. If I enter that in swing team, we're dealing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, putting him to 1. If I enter that swing team and then cast Lash of Malice on... If I Lash of Malice this and then intro it, we win, unless they have an Expel. I don't think I need to be that cute about it. I think we can just go with the air this turn and then see what next turn brings. Because this is certainly lethal next turn. Okay. Hiya. I've seen so many people playing Essence Infusions on Karox today. Like, it already has lifelink. I don't understand. All right, so we're against green, black, life gain, splashing a white card, and we don't know what the white card is yet. Yeah, you'd think you'd gain double life, eh? I suspect rebuying a removal spell is going to be more useful than trying to finish them off with the damage from that, especially on the draw. And it doesn't look like it's going to be that hard for us to hit our removal spells. I'm going to make that swap. Like, using the Inkcaster to finish somebody off when they're in a life gain deck is kind of stupid. You're just playing a 5-mana 3/3. I've kept some one-landers before. I don't think this is one I'm interested in giving a go to, though. It's not crazy. It's sort of got both colors. This one's, I think, closer to keepable, although I don't love it. And I certainly don't want to go down to 5. That's what our Annihilation is for. Easy peasy. Oh, yeah, drawing them lands. Is that what I want to do? I don't think that's what I do. I think this is what I want to do. Now we're winning. This is awkward because I kind of need to hit a land. I don't really have the opportunity to do that, though. I think I like Inkling Summonings now and deal with this later. Because I can't get there on Umbral Jukes alone. They're eventually going to land something. And this is not enough damage. Pick 10? That means you passed it. Grief. That's not very nice. At least they're spewing cards for damage. Like, I like that part. I think we take out this before they wise up and equip it. Them wanting to aggressively trade that off indicates to me they really don't have much going on over there. Of course, I could be wrong. So we need to Biblioplex back Study break, getting Introduction to Annihilation. I think. This may still be too slow, but I'm doing what I can here. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. Was it? Yeah, it's still the quill, and it's probably we're probably too far behind for it to matter. But we'll do what we can here. Rixie Harbitzes. I don't like it as much. I guess because I'm not used to... Well, you can read the card here. When I saw it, it didn't show the text on it. If you could see the text, I think I'd like it more. We're just dead, right? Like, there's nothing I can do to not be dead. Okay. We still don't know what the white splash is for. But again, I feel pretty confident with taking out the ink caster, because again, if you can see why I'm not interested in that. I could sort of see playing the other study break, because the Biblioplex Assistant was a big disappointment there, but the Biblioplex Assistant was a big disappointment because we'd mulliganed, not because it's actively bad. I might have done some of those events if I'd known I could get alternate art and still read the cards. That's a little stronger. Where were you last turn, you jerk? I'm trying to decide if I want to get rid of Dina this turn. I think I probably do. Ooh, it's a good cat thing. Good cat thing. You boy. Wants to trade. I could see why they didn't want to trade. Can we draw a land? I might be able to win if we draw a land. Neat. I like winning. Well, let's see if it's good enough. May as well keep this in hand in case they have a fight spell or something. We'd also need something to give it flying next turn. I play retail. I played some in Classic, but our guild fell apart. And then we tried to set up our own guild, and it wasn't fun. Well, it was fun, but we couldn't recruit anybody. We had like a good group of 7 players, enough to do 1.5 dungeon runs. We were just kind of like, let's go play retail. Mainly because the guy that was a jackass in our guild from retail got kicked out. It was like, oh, okay, if he's not there, I want to play. What can they get back? Can they get back anything that matters? They can get back Dina. I don't care about Dina. Ah, but they're going to be at 6. That's the problem. So giving this flying is no longer enough. All right. Man, that turned around in a hurry. Unfortunate. Okie dokie. You are very dead. That's why I got the Inkling summoning. Neat! It's so cool when they draw a removal spell and then scoop. I'm gonna let this fire and go pee-pee. I'll be right back. We'll do the next round. Just in time, Ragnarok with the kills, Emperor of Destruction with the assists, rewards for Cosmere, Adam, Orcish, and Zibby live. I know BC's about to come out for Classic, which is cool. I played BC when it was in retail, and that was cool. I liked it. Let's have another go, shall we? Right. Looks solid. Thank you, Nexus. Good luck on your run, sir. It was a weird flying contraption. You are. Yes, you are. How low can you go? There's a 54 card deck over there, which is interesting. You don't bump into that every day. They may have a plan. "54 cards, turn 1 ingredient, turn 2 inquisition. Get ya." Butt spot is kind of the best. I'm sorry, Iggy. Glad I could help. Sorry, YouTubers. Sometimes you bump into a match like this. It is what it is. All right, I'll kill your ingredient. It was a valiant effort, sir. May as well use the most mana. Because I think we are study breaking this. Iggy, thank you for the donation, dude. Y'all spam some cats for Iggy. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm sorry we couldn't get you a win. More or less tentative panda. I think it's actually Glicko. It's MMR based. Have you played Hearthstone Battlegrounds? It's the same system, you just can't see your MMR. I'm playing a little cautiously here, but I think that's pretty reasonable. They may also be unaware that there's a chess clock in these matches. They have 24 minutes, and I have 28. Okay. It doesn't matter if they know that I have this. Yeah, it's mostly about matchmaking. It doesn't want you to have to wait 20 minutes. It's incredibly difficult to decide I'm going to try to sideboard against a deck with, what, 60 cards in it. So I don't think that I'm going to do that. But again, I'm likely to be more interested in the Biblioplex Assistant than the Inkcaster here. Yeah, you'd think you'd see Yorion, right? That's a reasonable start. There's 10 white sources in the deck, so we should be able to find one eventually, and this should be good against all the combat tricks and shenanigans they were playing. I've lost to decks doing stuff like that before too. And people played for different reasons. Like, for all we know, it's a streamer doing a stipulation challenge or something. Okay. It will come back stronger. That's pretty great, Marty. Like, I'm not. You called me. Zzzt. Slowly. Gently. This is how you win a game of Limited. Yeah, they're having a rough time of it. They're at 9, and I've got 9 power on board. Usually when you see somebody with a 60 card pile, it's somebody who hasn't drafted much and is using a draft token to just get some rares. I would encourage them to check out the Joy of Drafting video series where they could learn how to draft and be good at it. So why are you so interested in this function? Because you sold it to me as a good fit. Ah, you're talking about the headhunters. You can get them through the battle pass. And I think buying some of the bundles gives you a draft token. Or they just played everything they drafted. I've seen people do that before too. They don't know that you don't have to do that. If you're coming over from Hearthstone, that would kind of make sense. Not a great opener, but I don't think we send it back. We can't cast anything, which is kind of funny. Did they make a paper version of this game? That's interesting. How do you randomize the deck? You can get good at any set. The discussion we had about playstyle earlier, I think, leads a lot towards that. There's some sets that will lead towards certain playstyles, but the answer to getting good at draft is to not have a playstyle, to figure out what the best decks are and play them even when you don't want to. I really want to be able to double spell, but I'm not really in a position to do that. We can maybe catch up next turn. Especially if they want to just go attack me. They're probably going to kill this, though. I really wish they wouldn't. I'd love to see a 2-drop here. That's a little less than ideal. That's also not a 2-drop, which concerns me. Because I kind of needed that life gain. The box I got, I have not opened, but I anticipate that it is a box of collector's boosters and some commander decks from the most recent sets, and I'm very appreciative to WotC for sending that to me. We did not need all of our late game in our hand. Ugh. I don't think I can get out of this. Because they're what, going to expanded anatomy this? I suppose if I did, it has to start like this, though, which is kind of unfortunate. Afternoon Band Geek. Because if they anatomy one of these and we block the other and trade and then untap an X to set, we're kind of caught up. Then we just have to beat the other 5 cards they have in hand. It's not if they're going to expand an anatomy, and it's not if they have that in play, right? Like, we have to stop them from having this crap. I assume they've got +2/+2, which dang near kills me, but at least they're not expanding the anatomy. Defiant Strike? That's fine. Well, I mean, it's not fine, but we're not dead. Just go ahead and cast it. So what happens here? They cast Expanded Anatomy, we chump one of them, we move along. Which means playing Show of Confidence doesn't really do anything. I think that leaves us just dead unless there's something in the deck I can't remember. Well, I guess I could do something with it now. This is awkward. But I have to take the introduction. Wow, okay. That's a thing you could do. Alrighty then. So slow hands are not ones that we're interested in keeping. Which is good. We shouldn't have many slow hands. I don't think I want the Stonerise Spirit against them. I think I'm the control deck in this matchup, not the aggro deck. Although we could still have very aggressive draws, but... There was a very lively thread on heuristics, and basically the concept that someone saying my playstyle is X is basically them saying I like to lose when I can't play X. Like, play the good stuff or lose. Your playstyle don't care. It's making excuses to play suboptimally. I want to cast that, but I can't, so we'll do this instead. What the heck are you doing? I have no idea what they're looking to do with that, but they're not going to do it. It's a lot of boots. It's exactly why we fight against that in chat, because it doesn't matter. The thing was, I still had preferences with the idea of like, I'm a mid-range player, so I don't want to draft 1-drops. But sometimes you're like, what you're supposed to draft in that seat is 1-drops and aggressive stuff, and it's correct to do it. Umbral Juke's pretty good. I like it a great deal. I'm going to need a good draw. Like, they've got some junk in their deck. Like, a lot of people thought Umbral Juke was bad because Edict effects are typically not wonderful and limited. But if you tack on the fail case of it's mostly a Windrake, it's hard to argue with. I really don't want to go down to 5, but this hand doesn't win. This one has a shot. It's at least got some value going for it, and we can answer most of the 1-drops and 2-drops that we saw from them that were threatening. Brutal mulligan. It's a great spot to be in, because if they've got a trick, we Vanishing Verse it. If they don't, I'm happy enough to trade them off. Like, we're a land away from just getting it back. It's not ideal, but here we are. You reckon they have a heated debate in hand? So this is step 1 in making up for our mulligan. I think I want to use my... Well, I'm still halfway convinced they have a removal spell for this. I don't want to commit too much more. They might have a Wrath. Might have a Study Break. Okay. That's kind of fine. I don't think I care about a 1/1 right now. And I'd way rather kill it with that on the when they do that to it than before. Resolves. Does not resolve. Now I'm feeling like we're probably okay to play the Inkcaster. Because I've got to follow up, and it changes the life math to dead in 2 turns. Oopa-doop-a-doop. So even through a Wrath here, we've still got a 2/1 flyer. There you go. I like it. We'll take it. Not the most compelling matches, but a win's a win. So YouTubers, if you have enjoyed the draft, do come by the stream sometime. It's at twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat. Say goodbye to YouTube. And we'll be doing some more drafts. Bye, YouTube.